The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode.
It's the summer of 93 at 30.
All right, welcome back to the Brandon Peters Show and the closing of our second week of the summer of 93 at 30. Today, joining me for a discussion of the music video for the song Ditty by Paperboy, returning to the show. It's been a while, but here is David Banks.
Hello, Brandon. Hello, America.
And the rest of the globe. I have...
And the world. The entire world.
I have listeners in Europe and stuff, so like...
Do you really?
It's pretty, yeah. I had a podcast I got tagged on. I was like, what is this show? Whatever. And I listened, and somebody, when plugging their own thing, recommended my show. So,
ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first.
Awesome.
Brandon Peters has gone international.
So I know one of my 5 listeners is international. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, he's crossed the seas.
The seas.
There he is.
All right. So summer of 93. This is your first of the 2 appearances you have here on it. So 93, where were you at during the summer of 93? You have any kind of like memories of the even maybe early 90s or something with it? But 93,
we're around about in the same age.
We're like a couple year or 2 apart. That's
Okay, so in 93, I was a 13-year-old kid going into my 8th grade year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And what I loved about music in general from this 90s, I'm just gonna put it from early 90s to mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You had a bunch of these subgenres that started sprouting out of the main the main music, like rock and pop music and R&B, but you had the coming up of grunge, and then you had what they called gangster rap, and then you had other types of music going on. So it was a little something for everybody. But at this stage, my only focus for music was, if it wasn't on Death Row, and if it wasn't Janet Jackson shaking her ass at that time, I didn't want to listen to it. But
yeah.
I mean, I was very familiar with other types of music because of the MTV era, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any kids listening to this, but I think we should let them in on a secret. It's like MTV played music videos, kids.
Mm-hmm.
They did. At one point in time, they were known for music television. So that's a little trivia question.
That's one of the things. That's why I when I started my show here, like I added, that was a big part of what I did was a music video, because I feel it's like a lost art form, a lost thing that used to be regular, and now it's kind of been brushed over into my Summer of series here with music videos, because it kind of fits, because that was part of the lifestyle. Like, my idea with these Summer of series is to capture like a pop culture moment for the general person, like what their life was like, pop culture wise, when they're going around, they watch music videos. And there's like all sorts of different transitions and periods with these, and it was a thing. It helped sell albums, and sort of put the front what people were kind of really listening to. Like on one of the music video episodes, like Tori Brownfield pointed out, like SoundScan was coming out, and that was a big thing, because that was record stores actually reporting what exactly sold rather than guesstimates of shipping and stuff. And it was like, oh crap, that's where hip hop all of a sudden went overnight into a success, because it was actually it was counted, and that was the actual numbers, not what some podunk person was wanting seen. It was like, no, that's how you found out, like, certain, like, the rock game was changing. Hip hop was really it was not a fad, it was a thing. It was not new, but it was always picking up steam. So
it was like an evolution in a way. We kind of got away from the 80s hair band from rock music, and all of a sudden these bands like Pearl Jam and Nirvana from Seattle, and
we're right in that right now. This is right there. Is where we're at with that big changes in the music going on right here in that time. that would have formed, and then the decade would oddly go back to like a new version of what was, the popular stuff in the 80s at the end with like, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, like all like the
Yes!
the pop girl in the group was a thing in the 80s, and it comes back in a new way in the 90s. So,
Yeah, I mean, look.
So
Yeah, at the end of the '80s, you had what, Debbie Gibson, you had
Debbie
Tiffany,
Gibson, Tiffany, you had
New
New
Kids on the Block.
Edition, New Kids on the
Yeah,
Block, you had all that, and then like they just like evolve into these different groups at the end. Like somehow it comes and hits big, which probably Britney
yeah.
ushered it in because she was huge
Oh, she was,
from the jump.
yeah.
Like Backstreet Boys kind of built, like they
Hmm.
weren't quite over the top, but yeah, those two probably did it. But I want to ask you too. So the movies discussed on the Monday episode this week, I'm going to ask if you have any quick thoughts or opinions on those. But we talked about Lost in Yonkers, which is a Richard Dreyfuss movie.
Okay.
Excessive Force, which is this dumpy little action movie. I forget what the star was of that, but it was awesome. Carnosaur, which actually comes out before Jurassic Park, which is hilarious. It's this shitty little.
I wonder how that did.
It was it didn't play many theaters.
Yeah,
Mainly
it.
Was a home video classic. They made 3 of them. And then Posse,
Ooh,
Mario Van Peebles movie, which I really liked.
I really like that one too.
That was a really cool Western. I was in the episode I was like, why isn't this one held up like Tombstone? Like they both kind of cover that same kind of interesting ground there. But yeah, I really liked, Posse was really cool.
Yeah, I really liked Posse. I think 93, and me and a buddy of mine just talked about this, and 93 to me, I mean, of course I can look back with rose-colored glasses and really dissect this.
Mm-hmm.
It was Steven Spielberg's year.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had Jurassic Park and Schindler's List in the same year. Mm-hmm. But I think 90, I'm just saying 93 because, we're doing that year. Didn't Demolition Man? When did Demolition Man come
Yes,
out?
it comes out. So Stallone has Cliffhanger and Demolition Man this year. So Demolition it's in the fall.
Demolition Man, I have a soft spot in my heart for Demolition Man.
It's great.
I really do. I love that film so much. I can watch it at least once a week.
Yeah. I mean, Stallone had a good year. The Cliffhanger's quite good too. And I like Demolition Man probably better than Cliffhanger. But he had a good. Cliffhanger was a big hit too, but he had two awesome movies for sure.
And when was Point Break? Was that?
I was like 89 or 90, I think.
90.
90.
Okay,
yep.
90.
Yeah, so that was 90. Yep.
All right.
So cool.
But yeah, 90. One more thing. We cannot forget TV because Mighty Morphin Power Rangers didn't they premiere in 93?
They might have been, in the United States.
Yeah, in the United States. Yeah. And they were huge.
Mm-hmm.
They were huge. I remember that. I remember.
Yeah, it was 1993. It was 100% 1993.
And I remember kids coming home from school and wanting to watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I never really got into it, but
it was like the last little kid thing for like I was too old because I was like I think I was in 6th grade. I was like too old to be watching it, but I was kind of into like it was like freaking transforming robots. You put them together and they fight like kaiju stuff. I'm like, I'm in. I don't care how little kid is. I'm in. And the Pink Ranger was hot. She was fire. So.
I couldn't get in. Yeah, that is true. I couldn't get into it too much because I could see the zipper, in the costumes, and it was just certain things that kind of irritated me about that a little bit, but whatever. But
during that time, we were jamming out to Ditty or not. It was the it was the lead single from Paperboy's debut album called "The 9 Yards," which was released on my sister's 6th birthday. So earlier in the year. The other single from that album being "Bumpin'" (parentheses adaptation of "Humpin'"). I listened to it. I'd never heard it before in my life.
I don't think nobody else did either.
Ditty though is sample. It features a sample of Zapp's "Do Wah Ditty," "Blow That Thing," and it peaked at number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. It's Paperboy's only song to do so. The album the full album peaked at number 48 on the Billboard 200. The single is certified platinum. The album is certified gold. So nobody wanted to hear the rest of whatever Paperboy was doing. Was nominated for a Grammy for Best Rap Solo Performance, losing to Let Me Ride by Dr. Dre. The other nominees were Just a Pimpin' in Me by Sir Mix-a-Lot, Roughneck by MC Light, and Stand By Your Man by LL Cool J. Interesting.
Those were some classics right there.
Yeah, interesting tidbit here. Paperboy was on Salt and Peppa's label, and he was supposed to be like the next big thing from that label, and it started out okay because Ditty was a hit, but this song apparently was supposed to be like a rump shaker type song or the next Bust a Move, but like lyrics changed and kind of the vibe changed a bit, so it was less dirty. Even though there's still thoughts of it there. But David, thoughts on the song?
The song had a West Coast flavor to it.
Okay.
If you listen to, I mean, this was the era of West Coast rap music. You just mentioned Dr. Dre. You had the Chronic probably about a year before. Snoop Dogg will come out. Snoop Doggy Dogg. He had debuted already. His solo album was about to drop. This was sort of like a G-funk type of song. If you really listen to it, if you listen to Regulators,
yeah, he's very Warren G like. Yeah,
very Warren G like.
Warren G was the better version. Yeah,
he was the better version. But it had a West Coast flavor. I mean, if you watch the video, it's very West Coasty. If that's a word. I'm not gonna lie, it was a decent song, but I can honestly see why people didn't really grab a hold of it like they was hoping for.
Yeah, it's very passing along the way kind of thing. Like I missed this one. Like I didn't discover this one till like later in the 90s, and I really liked it. It was a cool little easygoing jam, but like I don't know. I've always had these like waves with like rap. Like I knew all the Death Row guys, like because they were in your face. Like you could not avoid Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, all them.
You couldn't.
It was Warren G's Regulate G-Funk era that got me in like from because like I listened to like Hammer and Vanilla Ice back then, and like that. Then Dry Spell, and then I guess Coolio, but I don't count him. But like Warren G, G-Funk era, that thing. I wore that CD out when that came out, so that one got me kind of back into like rap, but I didn't pick it up then. It was like later in the 90s I heard this, and I was like, oh, what was this? I'm like, oh, that came out then. And so
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't remember this song at all.
I don't remember.
I'm sorry, America, but I don't. I really don't. But when I listened to it, I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, this is not too
really
bad.
catchy easily, like you know it, like, and you want, like, it's a song that if you have a disc playing and you hear it once, you're like, I'm gonna put it one more time before we move on. Like it's kind of got that that easygoing nature.
And you mentioned that he was on the same level as Salt and Pepper, right? And I think they were already out with Shoop, or they was coming out with Shoop.
I think that was around this time. Yeah. They probably dropped the previous year and took the world by storm, because the Paperboy album came out in January. So I imagine Salt and Pepper were dominating here in the 92-ish or something like that. Because the ones dominating the charts, which is a group that people might not remember, but SWV, they had like hit. They had a big 93. They have. So as we go through the summer here in the thing, like they had 3 songs come in and out of the top 10 within the summer of 93, like of Casey Kasem's top 10. I don't do the Billboard top 10, but Casey Kasem, that's the radio request. So that's kind of, what that goes with. But yeah, the SWV was hot.
I'm gonna tell you, like, I grew up in like the inner city. And so when the SWV dropped, especially when they dropped their song Weak,
that's it. Yep. That's just during the summer.
you don't know how many girls would huddle around in a circle next to their lockers trying to sing that song.
Gotcha.
It was hilarious. But their SWV, I don't think they get their flowers, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. They were huge in this moment, but then like when people look back, they're probably like Salt and Pepper, probably thinking En Vogue, like, but then SWV, they were dominant. Like maybe they just didn't have like the staying power with their next following albums, but man, this one they were on right here was the biggest thing.
I mean, what they had, Weak, they had that that one song where they sampled Human Nature.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember that song. I know they're gonna bash me for it. Downtown was on that album. It was the first one, and it was phenomenal. I still listen to that today.
Yeah.
I still got a couple of SWV songs.
It's about time. Yeah, I remember that album cover.
Yeah, it's about time.
There's Right Here. Yeah, that had
Right Here. That's the song.
7 singles on that album. Like I mean, that used to happen more often than not back in the day. But
yeah.
Then they had a re-release. They had Right Here and Human Nature released as one later on.
That was on their Free Willy soundtrack.
That's right. Okay.
And then they had another song that was on that album that was on the Above the Rim album.
Mm-hmm.
The name passes me by, but yeah, SWV doesn't get their flowers at all. Yeah. It's about time that they did.
Yeah. Unlike Paperboy, where we're talking about we talk about SWV about Paperboy.
I can't believe Paperboy Ditty got nominated for a Grammy.
Yeah,
that
Grammy.
Shocked me.
Yeah, that's big.
That shocked me.
Yeah, they push. I mean, if it's a new label and they were hitting with Salt and Pepper, they probably had the money and pushed to try to get one of their other artists there with the hit from the year, which is crazy. Like, I think, you know what's probably Paperboy's issue is he's missing the boat on what would happen later in the 90s and through the 2000s, where there wasn't a lot of like guest stuff being done on people's albums. So like it wasn't made a big deal of it. And like had he been in a different era, he probably could have got on other people's songs, had a lot more involvement, staying power. And that probably would have helped him in a different era.
Yeah, he had a really nice flow. If you listen to that song, it has a real nice flow. The brother can rap, but he was like you said, he was in the wrong era.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the matter of fact, if he was on a few years earlier doing maybe the MC Hammer type of era, he probably would have been a lot more successful.
Yeah, he sounds like he's got a sound that's like all audiences friendly sounding. Like he's not intimidating. He's very smooth. Like it's like the type that if you were like in the car with your parents, they might not have minded your hip-hop song played, you know?
Yeah, very.
Which might have been strike against him, but I think there's a smoothness. It's a smoothness that offers that. It's not welcoming that, but it's like a smoothness that's like, okay, that's kind of pleasant sounding.
Very DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. You know, that type of family-friendly rap music, as I would say.
Yeah, so this video, the director of this is unknown. I dug and dug and dug. I couldn't find the name of the director.
If you can't find it, then it had to be a friend or a family member.
Well, this is a product of the music video era. There's a lot of models, directors, and all sorts of stuff that just nobody knows who they are, disappeared to time. Like, who is this person? Where'd they go? Like, who directed? Someone directed this. What'd they do? So, but it's a party hangout video. So there's some sepia tone footage in here, color. There's dancing. There's rings close up, girls in bathing suits, people bopping up and down with their hands in the air.
It's the typical video at that time, man, for West Coast rap.
Well, there's there's like clips of him with a cow in like meadows, and then there's this hard steelworking part with sparks and stuff, and then
they was trying too hard, man.
A warehouse concert, like there's a check cashing place. I'm like, okay, you're either in southern.
I forgot about that.
You're either in Southern California or you're in Pittsburgh. Where are you at? Like,
I forgot about the check cashing place. Look, man. Look, that was a hangout spot in the inner city. I'm not gonna lie. People would get their checks and just go straight to the check cashing place, and they would just hang out because they had the liquor store right next door.
I mean, I lived in I lived in the Valley in mid to late 2000s, and those places were like every 5 stores on a block. Like
and always next door, you had a liquor store. So once you cash that check, you go right next door and get you a pint of gin or vodka, and then
liquor
on a
store.
Friday,
there'd be a check cashing place, pawn shop, liquor store, bail bonds. Boom, right there.
There you go. Everywhere you can spend your money, they had it right there in one spot.
Yep, that's what they did.
You gotta love it.
But yeah, there's a little kid dancing in it towards the end, and then it's just I don't know, it's just a hangout. A lot of the rap videos don't really take off in terms of not being anything other than like hanging out till like the Fugees and like Ditty and Biggie like really start going big.
I remember you go back to Nothing But a G Thing. That was a house party.
That's the video next week, actually.
Oh, that's the video next week.
That's the video next week, yeah. So
okay, well I'll be quiet about that. Let's not talk about it. But the video that I remember that kind of took it to that next level was California Love, Tupac, the Mad Max video. Right. They had 2 versions of the video, the remix and the original.
Right.
I think the remix had the house party vibe, but the original had the Mad Max
with the Dre with the eye patch, right?
Dre with the eye patch.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the first rap video that I remember taking it to that level of production.
Early in the first year of the show, I did Ready or Not by the Fugees, and that was like the most expensive, like one of the most expensive videos and the most expensive hip hop video like of all time. Yeah, it's when they took it, and that is like the first one with like helicopters and stuff, and then like Ditty season is like, oh shit.
I can top that.
Yeah. And then they finally they get into some things, but then it becomes like the rap videos just want to show you how much money they have a lot of times, rather than trying to do something with like a story like other artists might do, or some like avant-garde stuff. They're like, we have like 1 billion lights behind us and we're gonna dance in front of them, or
pretty much
wear our styling clothes. Like that's what they do. So there's not much to talk about with them, but it is an era and a vibe and something you liked watching. Like you were like, cool, I like this rich guy showing off his stuff, which he's probably not. He's probably getting ripped off by his studio, but he gets a big loan to do these fancy things.
Yeah.
Which is that's a whole nother topic about.
No, I get it. I mean, you had directors at that, young directors who went on to do big things, like F. Gary Gray.
Yep.
Started off with that Hype Williams. I think Brett Ratner.
Brett Ratner, Michael Bay, Spike Jonze, like all these guys, David Fincher, they're all music video, a lot of music video directors, and there's some other ones too that pop up here and there too. They're like Steve Barron. There's a lot of people who come from music videos. Like it's an art form, and they, some people bring it to their stuff, and it's just cool stuff. But so like Paperboy, Ditty, pop it on, go, oh yeah, it's a cool song, and then that's what. You've heard it.
Like I said before, I'm not gonna lie.
I was stunned. I was like, oh, Dave, you didn't know Paperboy did it. I felt like I failed. I was like, damn.
No.
I thought I was giving you a treat. I was like, oh, he's gonna get Ditty.
No. Let's peel back the curtain a little bit here. Yeah. No, when you gave me the song, I was like, did he type that wrong? Did he mean Ditty? I was like, hold on. I was like, I don't remember this guy. And he's like, and you messaged me back, you don't remember Paperboy? I was like, no. So I would literally, right after I got done talking to you, I was messaging friends of mine. I was like, you remember this song, Paperboy by Ditty? And they was like, yes. I was like, what the hell? What was I on in 93? I was like, Jesus Christ, man. What did I miss?
Everybody's got blind spots. Nobody's perfect.
Everybody heard this song. I was like, I do not remember it. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I apologize.
Oh,
I
good.
said I would listen to it, and I did, and I was like, oh, okay.
Well.
Not too bad. The epitome of a one-hit wonder.
Right, yeah, oh yeah. Yep. Well, this is it.
Because I think he dropped 2 more albums, one in 96 and another one in the early 2000s that didn't. Yeah, they went rock.
Oh, okay.
They didn't go gold, they went rock.
Oof,
so,
yeah. It went dollars made.
There you go. Yeah,
there you go. So anyway, that'll wrap us up. Dave, thanks for coming on here. You'll be back in another couple weeks. What you got going on? Where can people keep up with you?
You can keep up with me on my social media page, either on Facebook, just look me up at David Banks. You can look me up on IG. Those are my main two IGs, Aquarius Made 80. I do want to say that I will be going back into the podcasting world.
All right.
I got some good ideas and projects that I'm doing this all myself. So I'm learning all the technical aspects of editing and sound and everything else like that. So I'm doing 2 projects. I'm taking my time with it, so I can't give away nothing right now. But one of them is very near and dear to my heart, and the other one is for fun. So awesome. I can't wait to start these, and awesome. I'm very excited about it. I really am. So
awesome! I can't wait to see what they are. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, that'll do it. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Brandon4KUHD, written work at whysoblue.com. Next, come back Monday, Scott, Aaron, and I will be discussing such wonderful classics like Sliver and Hot Shots Part Duh and Like Water for Chocolate. Oh, and I guess Carnosaur is this next week. So
is it?
Yep, that's where we'll be.
I have to listen to that.
So we will be discussing those movies and more, and then back on Friday for Nothing But a G Thing. But until then, stay film positive.
It's the summer of '93 at the 30s.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios, and no infringement is intended. The Summer of and News themes by Pres Maxson. Additional information on this and other episodes at thebrandonpetershow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at thebrandonpetershow.com. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.